And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Tuesday, February 9th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Tuesday morning, cloudy and overcast, and here we are, an hour of live, spontaneous, and unrehearsed talk for you. And we're glad to have you with us, of course. On the air today for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and I have this message today from Tracy Pope, who's the Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Following Tennessee Department of Health and Wilson County Health Department guidelines, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital began assisting Wilson County Health Department in their efforts to vaccinate eligible individuals for COVID-19. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital is actively working with the state and local health departments to follow a safe, coordinated, and effective means of vaccinating individuals. If an eligible individual wishes to schedule an appointment, please continue to utilize the Wilson County the Wilson County Health Department resources, 866-442-5301, or by registering online. As long as supplies of vaccine are available, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital will also vaccinate eligible individuals who must be age 70 and older per current TDOH guidelines on a first-come, first-served basis during Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. They are screening, registering, and vaccinating individuals through their main entrance of the hospital. Access is limited. Visitors will need to continue to utilize the emergency department entrance following their restricted COVID-19 visitation policy that remains in place. And that again from Tracy Pope, Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And as we've been reminding you here of late, hospitals are for healing, new life, and recovery. They're places of innovation, learning, and exploration. But more than anything, hospitals are really about one thing: community. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, honored to serve Wilson County and be part of all the great things that are happening here. Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, 1411 Badua Parkway, Lebanon, Tennessee. Okay, today we have our friends. We have our friends from Mount Juliet here on the second and fourth Tuesdays most of the time, and today we have Jamie Luffman, Fire Chief. Jamie, good morning to you.
Good morning. You said friends. Did I leave somebody back at the house? Did I forget?
I never know what's coming out of your mouth, but good morning to you.
Well, feel for you and my wife.
You are in uniform this morning.
Yes, I are. I'm getting ready to be on the clock. Well, I should have clocked in. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give this one for free. You get what you pay for. Hey, before we get started, can I say good morning to Barney, Terry, and Michael over at WEMA's Maintenance Department. That's our base.
Barney,
Terry, and Michael. Yeah. What up, dog? That's how Michael does it.
All right, you got it.
So good morning to them.
You have, as Fire Chief in Mount Juliet, I think you have a good relationship with WEMA people here.
Yes. Joey.
That's three of them right there.
Yeah, that's three. Over 14 years, the amount of time that was spent solving the world's problems out in that garage with the great philosophers Barney, Terry, and Michael. We had an answer for everything. Wasn't always the right answer, but 30% of the time we got it 100% right. No, they good men, and I know they're listening this morning, and I don't get to see them as much as I used to. Always just bright and shiny. Yeah. Even Terry Scruggs. Yeah. It always scared me when he smiled at me.
Is he still a county commissioner?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I need to. I did. We did talk politics, but we never got not them time. We didn't let it get that close.
All right. Well, I know that here of late, most of the times, Kenny Martin, if he is going to be on, he calls in, and we've had some really good phone conversations, and that's fine. Today, he picked you, and you usually come here, and for whatever reason, you like to be here eyeball to eyeball. And then the police chief, from time to time, most of the time he's been here, but occasionally he calls in. But the three of you have pretty much handled it for about a year now.
Well, see, if I'm here,
pray justice every once in a while if we can't do any better.
Right. If I'm here, you can't hang up on me.
I'm picking on Ray a little bit.
Well,
always
that's okay.
Been available when we call him, especially.
Brother Ray's got some broad shoulders. He has been.
But you were telling me you did. I think you had to consider the old Wintry Golf Course property
Yes.
last night in the meeting, and that's probably a kind of a headline item here.
That is, it was right off the bat, and it's a childhood friend of mine is the developer over there, Danny Hale. His mother was my bus driver all through grade school, junior high, and high school. And I'd ride with Miss Linda, and that was back when North Green Hill Road was a one-lane gravel road. And I'm not so sure she didn't invent the Tokyo Drift in some of those curves. She could navigate that bus. But no, Danny has been working with Monty and his people on Wintry Trace Golf Course. Was a wonderful golf course. It was, I've seen every square inch of it except the fairways. They tell me the fairways are nice, but I prefer to, I figured I was paying by the shot.
I thought it was a little hard, but.
Well, if I ever got lucky and hit it long and straight, I was ready to grab my clubs and leave. That was it. Quit on a winner. But no, it did. They've got a wonderful development. I think I heard staff say this is the most attractive presentation that they've seen in the last few years on that property. There's going to be some logistics that lays out. If anybody knows the Nonneville Road and the road that leads right there. I live on Nonneville Road. I live actually in Wintry Trace subdivision. So we have a turn lane up to the entrance of my subdivision right there. It's, Cinco de Mayo and what used to be Old Gass's grocery right there. But then it goes down into just two lanes, one this way, one that. And so for this size of a development, it's going to obviously need to be widened from Wintry Trace down to the entrance of this development. So that was brought up to the architect Joe Haddix. And they're going to go back and work on that to see what the timing of it. They had said
is that a county or city road there, or it's not a state road, is it?
No, I don't believe so. I'm not sure. I think, well, it depends. If you drive down, the left side is county and the right side is city. I mean,
but it's definitely the state doesn't have any jurisdiction there.
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. It's going to be something that they have to do. And Joe presented a plan where initially they were going to widen, add a turn lane right down at the construction entrance where they were going to be doing that. And then after so many houses were built, they were going to come back and go ahead and widen from the entrance of the subdivision back up to the entrance of mine. And I believe it was, Commissioner Hafner, which proposed if they could go ahead and do the whole thing at the same time at the initial part of the project. And so Joe's going to take that back. That's his homework assignments, to go back and see if they can logistically widen that road all at once. It would make sense. It would make sense. I mean, it's going to be done anyway. And
Well, what about the cost? Which way would it be cheaper to do it all at once or in two different times? Or has that got to be figured up too?
Yeah, that has to be figured up too. I'm not sure. All I can tell you, I do know the one person that's not paying for it. He's sitting across from me. I ain't got the money. No, I pay for it. I pay for a little bit of it.
Well, I'm since you mentioned that, is most of the time when there's a subdivision done, the roads inside the subdivision, the developer takes care of that anymore for the most part. But this is a public road, and so are they going to do some of this? I mean, they're going to foot the cost of most of it.
I believe they are. And then, of course, with everything now, we're the sidewalk capital of the Southeast, so we're gonna have nice sidewalks. I mean, they've been working. That was one of the things that Brother Ray was most proud of, is the sidewalk work on Lebanon Road. It's going to be really, really nice. I mean, sidewalks on both sides, and it's going to be very attractive. That whole stretch right there is starting to show a little bit of revitalization with new businesses.
This development on Wintry, how many homes or how many people possibly, how much addition to the population of Mount Juliet's is going to be?
I want to say it's somewhere in the 300 home range, but I could be off. I didn't have I may be off. Don't quote me on that. But it's going to be a considerable development placed on a 2-lane road, and so they
maybe 1,000 more people living there.
Yeah, more money, more money, more money. No, hey, I tell you, I don't hunt, fish, or play golf, and
what's the time frame? I guess they approved this. Is this on first reading last?
Yes, this was on first. No, wait a minute.
Again?
Hang on. Let me double check my math here. Yeah, new business ordinance is first reading, Windtree Pines subdivision. Yes, that's ordinance on first reading.
So that's the name of it, Windtree Pines.
As it stands right
now. The
now.
golf course flavor there.
Yes, it does. Okay. Windtree trays, Windtree Pines. I've got to find a Windtree. All I got sugar maples, but that's all right.
So what? How long is this going to be? Pretty much a continual development till they get through with it.
Yes, I believe they'll do like other developments there. They'll do it in sections, in stages, and there'll be different benchmarks at a certain number of houses. They'll make some necessary adjustments and this, that, and the other, and it's going to be very attractive. It's a very unique on the backside where the houses aren't serviced by a road; they're serviced by an alleyway. And it's going to be rather unique. I mean, we were talking about last. They said, like, how wide does the alley need to be? And I said, well, according to code, 26 feet. That's to get my largest truck in there and to work of the aerial trucks. And so it's going to be they're going to make an adjustment to accommodate that 26 feet. It's going to be a nice little access point, unique. But I think folks are going to be. The view's going to be. What was that?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I've been time to go to commercial. But no, it's going to be unique. And of course, the view there on the backside overlooking, Cedar Creek is going to be, amazing. Just, it's going to be a very nice development. Joe Haddocks and his group, they're top shelf. Not just because they're in Mount Juliet, but the work that they do is great.
Good. I have to say I hate to see subdivisions taking over golf courses, but it's a way of life anymore. It sounds like you have got a winner here, though.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. Like I had heard planning say, and they said it out loud for the record, that this was the most attractive offering that they had seen in years for this particular parcel.
Okay, well, I guess we've done enough for that. You got more to talk about, but we've got to go to a break first. This is Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota, and they have Lamprey quality tractor implements, including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty. Extremely durable and well built. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're wrapping up the situation here on 24 eastbound at Hickory Hollow Parkway. It was a minor accident. TDOT's got all the vehicles over to the right-hand side finally here because traffic's busy not only in this area eastbound, but the heaviest flow is westbound coming out of Rutherford County, Murfreesboro area into Davidson. Still trying to wrap up the paperwork on that 2-car crash Jefferson Street near I-40. Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies will be hosting Sleep with the Sharks March 27th. All the details at Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. Our program again presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And just a reminder quickly of what we told you earlier, that as long as supplies of vaccine are available, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospitals vaccinating eligible individuals who must be age 70 and older per current TDOH guidelines, first come, first served basis, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I want to remind you quickly of one other thing, and that is that the way the calendar falls this year, and we've talked about this a little bit before, but Jim Major wants everybody to know that they'll be accepting 2020 county property tax payments without penalty in the office until 4 p.m. on Friday, February 26th. Also, a postmark on or before Sunday, February 28th will be honored. But if you're going to pay in person, you got to do it by 4 p.m. on Friday, February 26th, because they won't be there on the 27th and the 28th, Saturday and Sunday. Any questions, you'd call the trustee's office, 615-444-0894. All right, we've got Jamie Luppman here, Fire Chief for the City of Mount Juliet, and back to you. You paid your county property taxes, or you do that through your house payment? Or?
Yes, I do. Well, my friend and financial partner does. My lovely wife, yes.
Okay,
I don't know how much money I have or make. She just says, you're doing fine.
Well, we can see where your undivided attention is. On
That's
the fire
right. Yeah, queen of my double wide trailer.
What else do we need to talk about?
Well, I wanted to bring to light this morning a group that of responders that goes unnoticed at times. Unfortunately, you know, they talk about police and they talk about fire and EMS, but there is a group in Mount Juliet and in Wilson County that responds to the responders, and that's our Rehab 23. They serve every emergency service agency in Wilson County. 583 square miles, all of Wilson County. That takes care, at the county level, that's the sheriff's office, that's Wilson County EMA, at Lebanon Police, Lebanon Fire, Watertown Police, Watertown Fire, Mount Juliet Police, Mount Juliet Fire, Tennessee Highway Patrol. Wherever there is an emergency incident in Wilson County, these group of volunteer responders goes, and I'll read their mission statement, and it tells all that they do. They provide shelter, canteen, and rehabilitation services to the first responders of Wilson County, including all local, county, and state representatives 24/7, 365. They carry water, Gatorade, coffee, hot chocolate, snacks, meals, cooling towels, misting machines, a place to rest, warm and cooling, and they have the best honey buns in Middle Tennessee. I don't know where they get them, but I have to watch my boys when we're on the same. They'll be over there, one per customer. But they're a 501c3. They completely, their origination was completely autonomous, if that's a word, or without
autonomous.
Autonomous from any agency that's in existence. They came about all by themselves. And just to give you an idea, of course, we're coming up on the anniversary of the March 2020 tornado. They were out there with us for 12 days. They put in 1,050 man hours through 44 rehab responders, and here's the kicker. They served over 4,000 meals.
Wow.
Yes. And these were not just meals to responders. These were meals to people who had lost their homes. Wow. They would go out to these areas with escorts and serve meals to people that were cleaning up their own house that had been destroyed. And so they were out there with us from sunup to sundown every day, right up until Friday the 13th at 6 p.m. when I closed down Incident Command. And it's a great bunch of people. I get choked up with them because it's a lot of retired folks from Del Webb and other places in and around the county. But they just have it upon their heart. Like the responders in Wilson County have it laid upon their heart to help others. Right. These people have it laid upon their heart to help the responders because they know. They know how heavy the equipment is. They know how cold it is and how hard it is to do.
Well, no, a lot of us just don't think about a lot of that, I guess. We know you're there to do your job. We just depend on you. It's just expected. But then maybe when it comes time to say thank you, we're pretty good at that. But still, you're kind of in the back of our mind. Unfortunately, that's the way it is with most people, I think. And these have stepped forward to see that you are thought of a little sooner.
Oh, yeah. Well, when people are having a bad day, when they call 911 and they've got an incident, they look up and they want to see us.
Yeah.
Well, when we're there doing the job, we want to look up and see them, see Rehab 23, because I know that at that point that members of my department, members of the other responders that are there, they've got a place to go. When we get into some of these tasks and tactics that we use, it can be very taxing. And once you complete that, it's time. You need a few minutes. Yeah. And these fine folks come out. They give you a nice warm place to sit, a cool place to sit. They get you back with your liquids and like I said, them darn honey buns. But they're addictive. They are good. But anyway. just a heartfelt thank you. I know Director Cooper, Chief Hobbs, Chief Dowell, Chief Baird, Chief Hahn down in Watertown, Chief Hambrick, and they all are just grateful to have these folks on the scene with them, taking care of their people.
Are they adding to their ranks? Or they
always? Yeah, they're always adding to their ranks. It kind of rotates. They get some folks that come in, and then they get some folks that rotate off.
So if there's some people who'd like to join them, and maybe especially some people who've just retired or something, they would probably welcome them to their ranks.
Yes. Okay. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If they go on and they do a Google search of Rehab 23 Wilson County, that'll take them to their webpage and everything they need to sign and become part of the the solution.
Okay. Anything else from your meeting last night we want to talk about?
No. It was just
Wind Tree was the big thing.
Wind Tree went marquee, and they did pass 5-0, pass 5-0. Yeah, I mean everybody, it was rainbows and rose petals. I like that. The only bad thing is it got me out, and I still had to go home and watch the tail end of The Bachelor with what's her name? But she makes me watch that show. Man.
We do have a new mayor, of course, James Maness.
Yes.
We've got to get him on one of these days, but I don't know. I'll have to talk with Kenny, I guess, and see whether he wants to put him here on one of these Tuesdays, or let me just make a special time. And I've got plenty of time. We can have him up, and I have no idea, have not talked to him what his schedule is this time of morning. But it's anytime you have a change like that, there's a little bit of adjustment that comes about, and of course he having been on your board of commissioners for many years, I guess there's not as big a change, or there's not this getting to know, just the transition pretty much.
Yeah, it was. And James, even before, back when he was vice mayor, one of the first tasks that he was given once he was elected in his very first term was to be the liaison between the Board of Commissioners and the fire department. And so we've worked closely on the growth of Mount Juliet Fire Department over the last 8 years, and it's been great to have his support, his counsel on a lot of this. And now that he is the mayor, I look for that to even enhance, and because we're getting ready to add the third station on the north side, and add some more personnel. We're growing.
Well, you must be reading my mind, because that's what I was going to say. How's your fire station coming along?
It's coming right along. We haven't moved any dirt up except for the groundbreaking, but I've got a meeting this week with the architects. We've gone through planning commission. It sailed through planning commission. It's ready to go out to bid now. So all you local hammer slingers, get ready. There's a project coming. So no, I've had a lot of local builders that have reached out.
What's the anticipated cost to build this?
$3 million.
Yeah.
I told them from the very first meeting when we all sat down, and it was all smiles, and I said, okay, here's the deal. I got $3 million. I don't have $3 million and a nickel. And I said, you're going to learn that I'm like my father. When I tell you no, I mean no. And so that's where we're at. They came back with, a very good rendering and everything, but the price tag was a little bit more. And I was like, well, that's nice, but you're going to have to sell that to somebody else. Somebody that, you're going to $3 million, not a nickel. And so, but they're good people to work with. It's HFR Design out of Brentwood and Franklin, and they're really good people. They're just they came in. There were 5 groups that we looked at, and everybody came in, and they had all this high tech stuff, and they had drone footage of all of this. I mean, it was just here I am all pie-eyed going, whoa, And then HFR comes in. They sit down, and I asked him, Steve Griffin, the principal. I said, "Do you need any tech or anything?" He said, "No." I was like, well, all right, let's talk. And so he sat down, and they got the selection just based upon the dialogue, the conversation, because anybody that's built something will tell you when you go to do this, it's about that relationship more than anything else. That relationship has to be first, middle, and last of your project. And it was just the easiest thing in the world. Here's 5 people that I'd never met before. And at the end of 45 minutes, we were walking. I was like, okay, they're going to be on the Christmas card list, I think, at the very least. But
and you're really sure? I mean, they are sure they can get what will be acceptable for $3 million.
they've heard it enough. The spiel has never changed. But I've got the construction documents, and of course I do plans review for the city, so I did plans review for this. I didn't feel like it was a conflict of interest because it was 28 years of experience looking at a set of plans. And I told them from the very beginning, after I told them $3 million and not a nickel more, I said, we're going to do this by the rules set forth in the ordinances of the city of Mount Juliet. So this is going to be a by-the-book building.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to come back and say, well, they built a fire department just, haphazardly when they didn't use the same rules as we did. I got kind of barked at it. Why are you taking through planning commission? I said, because all projects go through planning commission. And they're like, oh, okay. But it's been it's going to be roughly around 10,000 square feet, 3 bays empty out onto the new section of North Green Hill Road, and we're ready.
All right. Well, it's time for us to call a halt here. Jamie Luppman, thanks for being with us today. We've had an enlightening conversation, and as we always do, and appreciate you making your way up.
All right.
See you next time, whenever that is.
By Mount Juliet, by Wilson County.
All right. I'm going to
in the piece or as a whole.
Again, reminding everybody that as long as supplies of vaccine are available, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospitals vaccinating eligible individuals, age 70 or older, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And that's part one of Coleman and Company, presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got the works vehicle checkup, $49.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation and safety check too. 1673 West Main. Now in traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. The police are gathered upon the scene of what appears to be a non-injury wreck on Briley Parkway at Opry Mills Mall Drive. It's also a crash 24 eastbound. It's over to the side near Hickory Hollow Parkway. That's what we're looking at live. We're watching it flow pretty decent actually on 24 West coming out of Rutherford County into Davidson County. Let's keep up the good work. Hey, check out the Andre Chicken Sandwich now available at Prince's Hot Chicken, 5814 Nolensville Pie. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
I'm Randy Salas, inviting you to listen to me and Jake Hood as we broadcast the 2021 Cumberland University baseball season. You won't want to miss any of the action in Coach Woody Hunt's final season at the helm of the Phoenix. All home games will be broadcast this year, weekday games on WCOR 1490 AM and weekend and night games on both WCOR and WANT FM 98.9. All games can be seen and heard on GoCumberlandAthletics.com at no charge, and you can also get your scheduling information there. Congratulations, Coach Woody Hunt, and go Phoenix.
Vanderbilt Health is honored to announce the newest addition to our family of hospitals, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital in Lebanon. This hospital will provide care for Wilson County residents with the goal of improving the health and well-being of our newest community. Hospitals are for healing, new life, and recovery. They're places of innovation and learning. At the end of the day, hospitals are all about one thing: community. Thank you for welcoming us into yours. Let's do great things together.
It's going to be cloudy out there today with a chance of scattered showers as well. Highs this afternoon will top out in the lower 50s. For your Wednesday, we do have a slight chance of rain, otherwise skies will be mostly cloudy. By Thursday, we could be talking about a wintry mix, so stay tuned. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two. It is a Tuesday. Sean Dozier's here, and we're ready to talk about Hearthside Senior Living. Sean is the executive director of this community located at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. Sean, good morning to you.
It's always great to be here on Tuesday, Coleman, and good to see your smiling face and
Most of the
time you're smiling. Sometimes you're in a mood, but today you're in a great mood today.
Well, I think I'm okay. Maybe Jamie brought some of the good.
I guess he did. He did a great job.
Oh,
But anyway, you're always delight to see, and always have a joke or two, and always have a good story to tell off air. And I was asking you why I don't get to sign the guest book, and you said.
I said we want your signature on the check.
Well, the history of that book is pretty. You're almost through with that first. How many books do you have of those?
I think that's the fourth one we're completing.
Wow.
We're on the last page, probably of the fourth.
Wow.
One. Now they are under lock and key somewhere upstairs in Susie's office. I understand.
Well, that's why I want to be a part of that history. I'm sure I've been here as a guest before, but
yeah.
I
you were here.
Yeah, I've been here before.
Speedway,
yeah, but I that's history, so I want to be a part of it when I can.
Well, I'm just going to have to invite you as a guest someday, so you get to sign.
That's right. That's right. But anyway, it's always good to be here, and again, you are always great to see, and I always enjoy talking about Harshside Senior Living. It's a wonderful community right there in the heart of Lebanon. We have our independent living, 30 homes, and they're all occupied at the time, and we just had a lady I mentioned a couple weeks ago that's moving in the next couple of weeks, and she's excited about that. Anytime somebody moves into a new home, Coleman, we go in and paint it for them and fix anything that needs to be fixed, do a deep clean, and so it's a brand new home when they move in, and she's excited about that. She's come today to do some things, but those are all sold, and that's going very, very well. That started back in 2010, I believe, and 2 and 3 bedroom homes. We like to say maintenance-free living, and it's a wonderful place for people in that season of life where they can go and travel and just come back and everything is just like they found it.
Yeah.
Whether it's lawn care, or whether it's a light bulb, or whether it's their microwave's broken, whatever it is, we try to take care of it for them.
Well, and I think that's been one of the reasons. A lot of people, the people that are there may eventually be in the assisted living, and they have first shot at that, of course. But until then, a lot of them like to travel. And
they do.
Know that you're in you may not be a gated community exactly, but you're taken care of really well there, and everybody knows everybody and looks after each other.
They really do. We have several folks that look after each other. In fact, we just had a lady that moved up to the assisted living from the independent living, so it works quite well. They stay on the same campus. They know everybody, and they know us, and it just works out really, really well.
Yeah, and when they get into assisted living, they don't have to pay $3.
No, they get it. No, they don't pay $3 a meal, but they pay a monthly fee to get all that. But it's worth it, and our assisted living is just a wonderful community. We're gonna. I mentioned last year we were going to remodel, but because of the COVID situation, we couldn't. But this year we're going to remodel and do some things to sort of brighten it up a little bit. But it's a wonderful community, and we do have some rooms available. We have some medium units available and some small rooms available. So if you're interested, our prices are fair, and I think you'd be surprised at what you get for the price. And I just encourage anybody that's interested in assisted living or who might need a little extra help, maybe their loved ones needs a little extra help, to check us out. They can call us at 643-1994. We have a great website, Coleman, at Harshside Senior Living, or harshsideliving.com. And we are giving limited tours now, so we're almost back to normal. But if you want to check us out, you can come visit us.
Well, did everybody, you're through, I guess, with the vaccinations?
Well, we got one more shot to go. So we got the first shot on January 16th. Next Tuesday, February 16th, we have our second vaccination. And anybody who didn't get it the first time can get it the first time next week. But we'll all be vaccinated, hopefully, next Tuesday. And we are opening up a little bit at a time, very cautiously. We can do porch visits now. We can do living room visits. So the families are really enjoying coming to visit their loved ones. Of course, they stay 6 feet apart, and they wear their masks. Yeah. They take all the precautions. But it's just a new day when you can visit with your loved ones, and I'm excited about that.
And hopefully we're going to be able to relax these regulations more and more.
Once we get the vaccine, the state hasn't come out with anything yet, but I'm hoping they will do that. We're doing limited activities. Our dining room, we're taking all the precautions there, but we're being very, very safe. And there's always a chance it could reoccur, but we're doing the best we can.
Well, that's a good report, and I know everybody is happy to we feel like there's more light at the end of the
Yes,
tunnel.
absolutely. There's much more light at the end of the tunnel, and our residents their emotional state is much better now than it was even 2 months ago.
And spring is just
and
around
spring
the
is
corner.
coming, so the garden will be getting ready to go, and we'll be doing some outside events. So it's a good. It's much better these days. Let's just put it that way.
All right. Well, again, if you need Sean, 615-443-1994, and he's willing to help you in any way he can. I know he is, and even though he's busy all the time, but maybe not hardly as busy as you were 6 weeks ago.
Well, it's always busy at Hearthside, but we.
Well, I'm not as concerned. Maybe you see light at the end of the tunnel too. We got a brighter day here when spring gets here.
I tell you what, it is a brighter day, and I'm excited I'm really excited for our residents because they have been. It's been a long few months for them.
Well, have a good week, and we'll be back next Tuesday, I hope, and do it all over again. But before you go, we always do a Hearthside hello.
Well, Faye Presley, she works for the Head Start program for the Mid-Cumberland Head Start program. She works there. She spoke yesterday at our Kiwanis Club, and we became friends, and I know she listens to you. So, Faye Presley, hello, and I appreciate all you do for that program with Mid-Cumberland.
You thought I was going to forget, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I think you almost did.
You know what? I almost did. See you next week.
See you later. Bye.
Okay. That's Sean Dozier. He's Executive Director of Hearthside Senior Living, again at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North, Lebanon, Tennessee. Okay, Scott Benson is Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District, and he joins us as per usual this morning. Scott, it's good to see you. Good morning.
Good to be here, Coleman. Good morning.
And I know that you're expecting me to ask you something about the Super Bowl as we start off this morning.
I thought you might. Hey, just to follow up with Sean there was a good report this morning, and it sounds like a pretty good place over there, Coleman.
Right.
I might join you over there. off there. You said you speculated a little bit maybe one day.
Oh, well, that of course remains to be seen, but...
Don't want to go there. Let's talk Super Bowl.
Speaking of Super Bowl, I just got one thing to say. I mean, everything's been great for Brady, but if the situation was reversed, if the quarterback for Tampa Bay had been what's his name? Help me out here.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes would have won. I think what won that game was the Tampa Bay defense.
No doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about it. Defense.
If Brady had been on the other side, he wouldn't have been a whole lot better, if any, than Mahomes.
Yeah. As a former coach, I heard many times and said it many times, but defense wins championships, and that is the case here in the Super Bowl. And I think Tampa Bay. They had a couple of offensive linemen that were out. I'm sure that impacted them as well. But the defense stopped the Chiefs' offense. And that's the first time Patrick Mahomes has been stopped like that since he's been in the league.
Right.
So there is no doubt about that.
Well, I still think he's a great quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And
one of the
I can't
best.
help but think that if the situation was reversed, he would still been the winning quarterback. Whoever was playing with that Tampa Bay defense going to win that game.
Who were you for?
I didn't care. I really didn't
care. I really didn't either. I probably went into the game not really caring, but probably pulling for the Chiefs. But as the game went on, because I never pulled for Brady with the Patriots, never.
Right.
And I didn't cheer or anything like that, but I found myself being okay with him winning.
I'm kind of the same on that one. Well, how's things at the Lebanon Special School District?
Hey, things are going well in the Lebanon Special School District. We're rocking and rolling and trying to have school as best we can, and as we progressively transition back to a traditional type school, and we're doing that this week with our youngest students. We're just as a reminder to you, Coleman, we've been in a hybrid for the last few weeks situation. And so this week we are transitioning our youngest students pre-K through 2. Next week we will transition 3rd through 5th grade. And then the following week we will transition our middle schoolers 6 through 8 back to a traditional model.
Now, I think probably every school system's had some problem maybe with their students in COVID, but especially some of the teachers and personnel, and that might have presented a bigger
problem. How are you there?
Yeah, that is the issue with every school district. And, we monitor daily the community COVID data, and I track that. I've got a folder in my office where I track that daily. And the community data is looking much better. It's got a positive trends. We've been encouraged by that over the last several weeks, and that's where we started having the conversation of, okay, we need to start moving towards getting back to a traditional model. And so as we do that, we decided to take a progressive approach simply because we want to try to maintain capacity here to sustain this. And referring to your point, staffing has been the challenge all along. Right. And we still have to follow health department guidelines, and we still have cases. Just because we've made the decision, Coleman, to go back to school, it's not going away. So we still have to deal with that. So when we have contact tracing and we have quarantines and we continue to have cases, we have teachers that are quarantined. And as a result, that brings up the challenge of staffing the school. And we got into a really tight situation back in the fall where we just simply really could not do that any longer. And so we had to adjust. So right now we're trying to enter into that slowly and hopefully get some good momentum going and can maintain our resources and our substitutes and that sort of thing as we progressively ease into traditional. And I'm hopeful that we can maintain that for a longer period of time. Time will tell, and we'll see. Like I said, it's not going away, so we will adjust. And whether we're in a traditional setting or a hybrid setting, or we have to move classes or even a school to remote, our teachers have been there and done that, so to speak. And so they're ready and willing, and they will step up and provide education moving forward.
Did you have a board meeting last night?
Yes, sir, we did.
All right, well, we got plenty to talk about then, no doubt.
No doubt.
And it is time for a break. Scott Benson is Director of Schools for the Lebanon Special School District. He's here, and more coming up on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. And it's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota, Land Pride, quality tractor implements including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty, extremely durable and well built. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We see the typical heavy traffic now on 109 coming through Wilson County and working your way up towards the interstate. Again, they're clearing up this earlier wreck, 24 eastbound at Hickory Hollow Parkway, Briley Parkway, and Opry Mills Drive. That wreck should be out of there in a few minutes as traffic builds also coming in from Dixon County. Still looking good. 40 east. Keep up the good work through Kingston Springs. Hey, Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies will be hosting Sleep of the Sharks March 27. All the details. Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. Scott Benson is Director of Schools, Lebanon Special School District, and comes to see us once a month. I do appreciate that. You give us a really good, I guess synopsis would be the word, a summary of whatever's going on, and good or bad. I think you pretty much tell it like it is, and I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I always enjoy coming.
Well, you want to get to your school board, to your board meeting last night?
We did. Had a regular scheduled meeting last night for February. Had several business items on the agenda, so I'll go through some of those as time will permit. So the first item, we've been having conversations about continuing with our LSSD Virtual Academy. So again, going back to our COVID conversation before the break, this year, because of COVID, we created a virtual academy to give those parents an option that for COVID reasons weren't comfortable sending their child to school. And it's simply that. It's a program. It was because of COVID. that we did that, and we've learned a lot through that process. But that we're thinking that as we move forward, that there's going to be a need for that in our community and a demand for that, actually. So we actually took that to the board last night for approval for us to go through the approval process with the Department of Ed to create our own Lebanon Special School District Virtual Academy moving forward in a post-COVID world. Now, we do understand that it's very likely we're going to start school next year still in a COVID world, but we're going to build this to sustain it in a post-COVID world. So we're going to start exploring that. We're going to send out some surveys here in the next few days to our families to see who would be interested in a virtual academy in a post-COVID world. We're going to do that with our staff as well. But basically the difference, Coleman, would be we would be creating our own school entity. So we're going to create a school that is recognized by the state with its own school number. And we just went through that process with Jones Brummett. We had to create a new school with the State Department of Ed. So it would be the same process, but instead of a brick and mortar building, this would be our virtual academy moving forward.
Now that is some forward thinking.
Well,
I'm thinking outside the box.
Yeah, it is, and a lot of school systems already have virtual academies, online schools, et cetera, but most of those have high schools. And of course, we don't have a high school, but we just see that being a need in our community moving forward. And we have learned that there are many families out there that will excel in this environment, that have excelled in this environment so far with us this school year. Now, we also understand that there are probably some families that have used this as an excuse, quite frankly, to try to avoid school this year. Mm-hmm. And we're going to set up our guidelines to avoid that moving forward. We don't want to be in a situation where we're facilitating, a family not coming to school, trying to ditch school for whatever reason. So we're going to avoid that when we set up our guidelines. But we could see where there's going to be a need for some families, at least, to want to have their child learn on this online environment.
I've got to ask a question here. There's this funding that you get from the state, and that surely has been factored in.
It has. We asked that question specifically, and that online school would be treated just like a brick and mortar school as far as the State Department is concerned. We would receive, if we have an accredited school, which we don't this year, recognized school, it's just a program.
Right.
We put this together because of COVID. So moving forward, if we follow through with this and we're successful, we would get funding for this school just like we would any other school. That's a good question, Coleman.
Well, I'm also thinking, does it cost less, really?
No, it would still cost the district because we would have students in that school. We would have expenditures related to that. We would still have teachers in that school with expenditures related to that. We would have a principal of that school. So moving forward for next year, we really anticipate the only cost to the district moving into next year would be hiring a principal, because we really don't have that this year. Julie Beasley has been acting as our director of the Virtual Academy this year. She's an instructional coordinator in the central office, and she took on that added responsibility this year. But our teachers and our students in this year's Virtual Academy are still assigned to their home school. So that would change next year, and we would pull them and assign them to the recognized by the state Virtual Academy. So that would be an added expense next year, a principal to coordinate all that and support our teachers and our students directly. But that would be minimal.
You have mentioned that maybe some other people have been trying this more on a high school thing. What have you learned from them, or how far along are they with something?
Yeah, well, a lot of school districts are already there, and districts that would have a high school. There are several in our area that have a full-fledged online platform for students. But most, now I don't know if many school districts are having the same conversation that we're having now. But we decided we want to go ahead and start moving forward with that. So that's the first step in that, was to get board approval to go through the school approval process with the department.
3-0 vote?
It was, yes, it was.
So they're on board too.
They're on board for that as well, yes. So we'll start. Matter of fact, probably within the next week, we'll be sending out some information and some surveys to both families and staff. We've been working on that the last few days in the office.
Well, that is, I hadn't thought about that being something of the future. But,
yeah, well, Coleman, if you relate it, I'm sure you know people that have been working from home. It's the same concept there, and that would be a convenience for some of those families maybe, and families that travel for different reasons, maybe for work reasons. I'll tell this real quick story, comes to mind, and we've told this several times internally, but with our virtual academy this year, one example in particular, there was a young man, he was probably second or third grade, and he was in the car with his parents, and he was actually driving through New Mexico. He was in New Mexico. I don't know the reason, but he was out of state, and he was connected with his virtual class and his teacher here in the Lebanon Special School District, and he was as engaged as if he was sitting there in the classroom. And I happened to be in the room with Miss Beasley, with Julie, there in the office when she was dropping in that class. And so she said, here, you want to pay attention to this and watch this. So he was in the back seat of his car, Coleman, in a different state and engaged in class that day. So yeah, that's just an example of the opportunities that would give you.
All right. What else did you do at the board meeting?
Yeah, very good. We had our next item of business, and I know you're aware of this, it expired on December 31st. It was a federal law, COVID leave for employees, and that was the FFCRA. Well, that expired on December 31st. So just quickly about that, we thought we should continue some type of COVID leave for our employees that continue to maybe they test positive, maybe they have to be quarantined for those reasons. So we put together a similar policy to the FFCRA, and we continued that this semester as well. We actually got executive approval early in January to do that. We didn't have a board meeting in January, and so we brought that to the full board last night, and that passed as well. So just a benefit for our employees there as we continue to navigate COVID-19 and trying to support and protect our employees. So we did that as well. We also last night had another resolution and a suspension of board policies directly related to COVID. Seems like everything we're talking about this morning, Coleman, is directly relating to that. But we did this about a year ago, but our current board policy on testing, Coleman, reads that we will count TCAP test and EOC's end of course testing as 10%. That was the minimal pre-COVID that we could count that on a student's final average in their final grade. Well, because of COVID, we have a little more flexibility in that. We can go from 0% to 25%. And so we last night asked the board for the authority to do that, to go from 10%, which is current board policy, to 0%. Okay. We just don't feel like we should count that this year in a COVID setting. So again, instead of going through and changing board policies that then we would have to go in and change again post-COVID, it's a resolution to temporarily suspend policies as a result of COVID. So we did that last night as well. So we had some surplus items that we brought to the board last night. So this you'll find this interesting. So we brought expenditures for approval last night to the board. The ESSER money. And ESSER money is the federal money, stimulus money, so to speak, as a result of COVID. ESSER stands for the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund. And we received some federal funds, stimulus money, prior to the school year starting. And we talked about that on the air. And at that point, our district received over $500,000. And that was going into the school year. Well, now we are receiving to spend over the next couple of years $2.1 million. Coleman, yeah, that's quite a bit of money for our small district. And so, as you would imagine, with federal monies, very stringent guidelines on how we can spend that, and we have to have every expenditure approved by the state, working on behalf of the federal government there. And not just about, all the expenditures have to be related to COVID somehow. That's the purpose of the money. So we've been working very hard in our district with our instructional team and our principals and leadership to try to fit needs into categories that would be approved. And so we're not quite ready to spend $2.1 million, but we did take to the board last night $1.3 million in expenditures that we're very comfortable with, that we have researched this, and that we feel like this is the best bang for our buck, so to speak. So we're spending it on technology. We're spending it on instructional materials. We're spending it on instructional software licenses for our students. We're spending it on a couple of school buses at Coleman, and we're tying that to social distancing. Obviously, if we're transporting all of our kids in a traditional setting and we have more buses, we can social distance better, if we have buses. So we got approval last night for that approximately $1.3 million, again, spending COVID-related. And we're going to continue to work on the rest of that money and take that to our board, the next board meeting for approval.
We're down to our last minute.
So we're not going to get to cover everything. I'll mention this lastly. We updated, of course, that's ESSER money that I just mentioned. Right. So that's federal money. Well, also the state, and you've talked about this on the air with a couple of other guests, representatives from our area. But the state just had an educational special session and passed some bills that will benefit education. And so we talked through those, the accountability and learning loss and literacy. But last night we also approved how to handle the compensation, the teacher compensation that came through. And so our district received $167,000 for this school year to add to teacher compensation. So we're going to add that at the end of the year when all that money comes in as a one-time bonus. And that's beneficial to the district for us to do it that way. It's beneficial to the employee to do it that way, tax purposes, et cetera, moving forward. So we're going to be having a one-time bonus with that money that was approved by the state here towards the end of the school year for our teachers that qualify for that, our certified folks that qualify. Well, with
all everybody's been through here, it's kind of nice to get a little bonus.
It's kind of nice to, hey, here's some money and thank you. How about that? Yeah, we don't get to do that very often.
Very Scott, good. I wish we had more time, but the clock on the wall says it's time for us to quit, and thanks so much for being here.
Always good to be here.
See
yes,
you
sir.
Next month.
Yes, sir.
That's it for Tuesday. Join us tomorrow if you will. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.